He's going away.
Welcome everyone. First of all, we did a really fun event here last night. Saw pictures called Diwali. I wish I could have done more pictures, but I was so in the moment once everybody arrived that I just didn't think to do it. But we have 3 centers set up here, and this first center was where we landed for Sacred Circle, and we had the sand art and marigold flowers and candlelight here. And then we shared what, was kind of heavy with this or something we needed to release or let go. And then we did a lighted labyrinth walking meditation over here. And then after that, we spread the lights around the circumference of the room, did some restorative yoga and aromatherapy, and then we landed in your corner, Patty, for another sacred circle, where we did mantra meditations, and we did, they got a blessing and an offering, and we shared our hopes at the end, how we can be the light. So I had left the sand art in the flowers this morning, but I cleaned it up, and I wish I would have left it because I didn't look to see what the classes were going to be like. If I would have known they were both going to be lighter, I would have kept it so you could have seen it, but there are pictures of it if you want to see it. Donna was here. Do you want to share anything about it? Other than you left your mat. I'm so sorry.
I was so zoned out. Just how eloquently you speak, and just what a great job you do in presenting those. Emotional for me. You are the light. I told you about last night. You are such a light for so many people, and I hope that you know that. But it was just beautiful. It was.
And certainly felt it last night. You guys are so sweet.
It was again another little taste of India too, which was really. Thank you for sharing that with us in class, and also sacred circles.
Thank you for being here for that. And I thank all of you for being here for class today. The class is going to be based around the mantra we used last while we were sitting in that sacred circle. I'm not going to be able to play the music because I'm recording right now with the phone, but I'll say it in Sanskrit and then I'll tell you what it means in English. Om Asatoma Sagamaya. Tamaso Matyoti Gamaya, Matyor Mat Amratam Gamaya. And it's a really beautiful mantra when you hear it sung. And there's a lot of artists that have this mantra released on their albums. So I have it written up here on slips of paper. If you're interested in hearing a song version of it, please take this with you. And then you can go to Apple Music or Amazon Music, go to YouTube, or however you discover different music and artists and listen to it. What it means is lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness into the light. Lead us from death to immortality, Shanti, Shanti, which means peace, peace. And this is a mantra that I decided to choose for Diwali while we were in India, because we were going to do a practice that day. And Diwali is all about bringing in the light, remembering the light. And they have candles in their home to invite Lakshmi in, which is the goddess of prosperity and abundance. They look at Diwali as being new beginnings. It's like their new year, and they have fireworks going. They have strings of lights hanging outside of their homes and businesses. And the idea of the lights for them is for good to overcome evil, for light to shine more than darkness, for light to overcome the darkness. And so this is the mantra that I used while we were in India. And last week, after I shared the story of my son being in a bad car accident, when I told you guys that last Monday, there was someone in here, Mary Ann, who you may know. She is also a yoga teacher. I woke up Tuesday morning to a text and her telling me that she was inviting me to an online Zoom event that was based out of Kriya Yoga. And I didn't think I was gonna be able to join, but at the last minute I could join. And I joined her and about 20 other strangers from different pockets in the country. And they were doing a specific ceremony to help people who had recently died or even pets that had recently died. It was to honor them and to help them through the transition by singing prayer and mantra and meditation and music their way. So I was able to join with this person who perished in a car accident. I was really paying homage to her during this ritual. And guess which mantra they chose? It was this one ×2 even. And I already had picked out this mantra for our event last night. So this mantra keeps coming up for different reasons. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. The last thing that I will share, because I feel like that Kriya Yoga was a little serendipitous for me. Not only did Marianne invite me to this, but she didn't know my lineage was Paramahansa Yogananda. And I asked her after the event, because it spoke so much to my heart, I was like, can you tell me more about this? Who was leading it? Where is it stemming from? And she said it was based out of Chicago. And what's fascinating is, it dawned on me in that moment, oh my goodness, it's from the Kriya Yoga Temple in Chicago. And that may mean nothing to you, but back in the day when I was getting teacher training, Donna will remember this, there was only one training in Nashville. And that was the training you did, which was Iyengar. And I loved Iyengar yoga, but I didn't want to get trained in Iyengar yoga. So I researched all these different places across the nation. And I narrowed it down between two, the one I went to in California and Kriya Yoga in Chicago. And I just felt like it all came full circle. And I asked Marianne, I was like, this is so familiar to me. And I told her what my lineage was. And she said, well, Kriya Yoga Temple is also Yogananda. I'm like, no wonder. So the other serendipitous thing I want to tell you about is the concerns bracelets. There was a woman in our group who I'd never met before, who's also a yoga teacher in town. And she had signed up for India, and I knew we were connected online, but I also knew I did not know her personally. And she had been more in contact with the travel agent because the travel agent was sending out the communication and taking the funds and all that. And the travel agent had come back to tell me, did you know Valerie had a dream that the Dalai Lama was calling her to India? And I'm like, no, I actually don't know Valerie personally, so I haven't really had any contact with her. So we go to India, that's where I meet her, and flying into Rishikesh, there was another group of Westerners that were with us that had a Lama with them. And so they were there for a Buddhist retreat. Well, when we were getting back on the flight in Rishikesh, the same exact group was on our plane. And Valerie started talking to one of the gentlemen in that group. Come to find out, he was from Kentucky. Come to find out, they had a mutual friend named Joy. And as they continued to talk, he said, I have a gift for you. And he took out one of these bracelets. And as he was tying it around her wrist, he said, this is from the Dalai Lama. It's been blessed by the Dalai Lama. And I'm standing back witnessing all this going, what? And after he left, she was like jumping with joy. And I was like, Valerie, the Dalai Lama called you to India, and now you're getting this gift, this blessing from the Dalai Lama. And she was like, what dream? She didn't even remember the dream. I had to remind her. I'm like, you had a dream about this, and then you told it. But think about dreams, we don't always retain them. But she had emailed the travel agent told me, and I reminded the travel agent to make sure I didn't dream it up. And she was like, no, yeah, that's what's happened. So basically, there are signs, synchronicities, and serendipitous events that are always occurring. Spirit is always trying to communicate with us somehow, some way. And that's the beauty of yoga and meditation. It piques our awareness. It makes us more attentive. It makes us more present to be able to know when we're receiving that. So for this practice today, open your heart, open yourself up to these signs and synchronicities. Open yourself up for the small, still, quiet voice inside. Open yourself up to angels showing you the way, or even earth angels coming into your life. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness into light. Lead us from death to immortality. All right, we're going to take the bolster and start off in a restorative back bend. So once you bring it behind you, you can roll down upon it. You can fan your arms open, and you can determine how you want to position your legs. So maybe it feels better for your sacrum to have the feet parallel. Maybe it's better for the feet to be wider apart. Maybe it's best for your low back for the knees to be bent. And maybe you prefer a hip opener. I'll let you choose. As the ringtone fades away. Let that be a mindfulness bell. Make you present in this moment. Present in your body. And present with your breath. Acknowledge how the chest and the belly swell as you breathe in. And how it releases and drops as you breathe out. And even acknowledge the ripple effect as it waves up and down between these 2 points. Everything that we think, say, and do creates a ripple effect, whether we realize it or not. Sometimes it can be quite apparent. And other times we have no idea. But even sharing a smile can create a positive ripple effect to anyone that you meet. For today's practice, we're going to focus on liberating ourselves, freeing up the mind, body, and I'll interweave the English interpretation of the mantra. it was so ingrained in my mind when I left here last evening that I said it out loud in the car repetitively for my 40-minute drive. So even if you repeat it mentally just 5 times in today's practice, let this be imprinted so it can be a reminder when you need it later. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness into light, from death to immortality. Peace, peace. Feel as though those wavelets you are experiencing as you breathe are bringing in wavelets of peace to your soul. Let's slowly start to bend the knees and widen the feet apart. And just rock the knees over to one side and then across to the other. A couple more rounds. And the next time you roll over to the right, bring that left arm width, push down into your left hand long enough to slide the bolster away, and then you're going to come all the way back down to your back. Go ahead and lift the feet off the floor and hug your knees in. Apanasana. Just a gentle hold so that you're not cranking the knees in towards the chest. You're holding the legs lightly. Holding it on the breath. And now roll completely to your left side, keeping the knees somewhat tucked. Send your left arm out and place your right hand on top of your left hand. On your next inhalation, you're going to lift your right arm skyward and you're going to fan it over to the right side, attempting to lay down that right shoulder as you roll into the twist. But as you exhale, lift the arm again and come back to the left temple, stacking your hands. Inhale, let your right arm fly overhead and all the way over to the right. Exhale, pick it up and restack. Now continue with this repetition, but honor the flow of your breathing. Allowing your inhalation to take you into the twist and your exhalation to take you out. Since our lung capacity is different person to person, we're not trying to synchronize with anyone else. So I will tell you, my lack of a better term, mother-in-law has been having a really hard time with her back. And I saw her last week and she was mentioning that she's been going to physical therapy because she has some degenerative disc in her low back, and that's what's creating part of the problem. And I said, well, show me some of the exercises you're doing in physical therapy. And this was one of them, you guys. And in physical therapy, they call it open book. I actually learned this from the Vini yoga lineage, which is considered yoga therapy. The next time you open into the twist, hang out here with your palms turned open, your eyelids turned down. Feel notice because we're in the twist, the ripple effect changes a little bit. You may not necessarily feel it in the same places. You may feel it alongside your right side body, or more isolated in the right side of the belly and chest. On your next in-breath, grip in your belly, roll the knees through the middle, lift your left hand up and roll completely to your right side. Resting on the right temple, hands are stacked. Inhale, lift the left arm skyward. Roll open into your twist. And as you exhale, pick the hand back up and bring it over to the right. Continue with repetition as you did before. And notice when you're opening and closing from the twist, where your hang-ups are in your body. Is this side easier or a little bit more difficult? Do you feel any stuck, sticky places in your back or shoulders? This is important to take note of so that we know what we're working with, but also looking at energetic anatomy, where is life showing up in the body? What are these deposits? What do we need to work on as far as healing is concerned? The next time you lay out into the twist, be here. Again, notice the difference where you experience your breath. And then affirm internally. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness into the light. Lead us from death to immortality. Shanti, Shanti. This was written in the Upanishads, which has been dated almost 1,000 years before Christ was even born. On your next in-breath, let's pick up that left hand. Let's roll to the right side. Let's push into the left hand to build ourselves up for a seat. Our left shin is going to be placed in front of us, and our right knee is going to bend, and you can be on the top of the foot or you can flip to the inside of the foot. But coming back to the left shin in front of us, you don't want the foot pulled in. You want the foot out. So this shin is parallel to the short edge side of your mat, and the heel and the knee are basically in line with your hip. So it's like a half pigeon. All right, let's bring the fingertips forward and lean into the hands. And we're going to ripple up and down. So lift your head up. And then as you exhale, bend your arms and let your head come down last. Inhale, draw in through your belly, roll it up one vertebra at a time and look up. And then exhale, cascade down. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. And just doing this with repetition. The repetition, by the way, can be therapeutic for the joints, especially if they're really achy or arthritic. So if that's the case for you, you can continue to lift. If you want to settle into it and rest on forearms or prayer hands or the brow, go ahead and find some stillness. You can also bring the blocks in for the forearms or for the head to rest. But you also have that option to continue to move in and out. If you're coming up and down, maintain the rhythmic breath. If you're holding in stillness, emphasize your out breath. So a little different approach. And then we'll all inhale, draw it up. And on the exhale, we'll just kind of maneuver and create half pigeon to the other side. So the left knee's bent, foot alongside the hip, right shin out in front, aligning with the hips, lean forward into the fingertips. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll it down. And you may automatically notice, ooh, one hip's tighter than the other. Try not to judge it either way. Again, just an important notation so that you know what's hanging out and where it's hanging out. You may not exactly know what. You may have to sit with it to discover what exactly. And the next time you fold, if you want to be more in stillness, if you want to steep more in this position, you can do that. But again, if you're more achy or arthritic on this side or in the hips, you may want to continuously move. Rhythmic breath if you're moving. A stronger or more exaggerated out breath if you're in stillness. If you've been hanging out here, we'll all inhale and bring it back up. And we're gonna transfer to tabletop position where we're on hands and knees. So just take your time getting to this position, obviously check in and add in some extra support if needed, but you want your knees under your hip bones and your wrist underneath your shoulder bones. Make sure there's enough space between your wrist and your knees to provide some length for the vertebrae. Anchor down for your shins and feet through the palms of your hands to feel your belly or core ignite. And once you have that ignition in your belly, extend your right leg back behind you. Flex the foot as though you're trying to put your footprint on the back wall. And really ground down through your right hand to sail the left arm forward and out. Holding the seabird or spinal balance. And try not to hold the breath. Keep it flowing. Exhale, lower the left hand and right knee. Good, inhale, extend your left leg back, flex that ankle. Push down through your right shin, left hand, and extend your right arm. Alternate limbs lengthening away from your midline. Looking down for better balance. Looking out to challenge your balance. Most importantly, breathe. Exhale, lower the right hand and the left knee. Now keep the knees as is, but you're gonna walk your hands over to the right. Onto the wood floor, your right hand's gonna stay the same. Your left arm is gonna reach more out in front and you're gonna drop and hover right above the floor. Stretching the left side body. Opening up that left lung. The side panel of the heart. Inhale, lift the head and heart. Slide your left hand over. Walk both hands over to the opposite side of your mat. Hands shoulder distance apart. And then the right arm lengthens. Drop and hover. Hold and breathe. Good, slide your right hand back, walk it over to the sticky mat, send your hand to handprint beyond the shoulders, curl the toes under, and then lift the knees off the floor to your downward facing dog. Let your head hang between the arms, gaze back towards your feet, let your thighs roll in, and your upper arms roll out. Fly up through the sacrum. Find the blend of strength and flexibility. Let your breath continue to support you, to fuel you, to help you to connect. Let's travel the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Walking slowly but surely, lifting the hands along the way, and you're folding in half upon arrival, hinging from the hips. So in down dog, we're angling everything towards the third eye. Here, we're angling everything towards the round of the head. So just pour over and down. Remember, it's not about touching the toes. This is about freeing ourselves up so that we can be led from the unreal to the real, from darkness into light, from death to immortality. Shanti. Think about one of our greatest fears is the fear of the unknown or the fear of death. Now push down through the soles of the feet. Sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. And when the arms come up to frame the face, we're going to exhale, bow back, and create the winged set of arms. Inhale, straighten your back. Lift the arms and fingertips overhead. Look straight ahead. And then exhale, open the heart. Inhale, one more. Lifting up and out. Good. Exhale, arch your back. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, and then exhale, bring the hands together and down to prayer and lace up your fingers, tuck the knuckles under your chin. Inhale, a slow in-breath, separate the hands, fan your elbows. Exhale, close your palms, bring the forearms more together, and then bring the chin to be parallel to the floor. Two more like that, breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. One more. Inhale. Continue to root the feet. The arms are going to lift to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive forward and down to your Uttanasana. From here, inhale, slide your hands up your leg bones, lengthen out through the vertebrae. And if your shoulders are scrunching up towards your neck, extend your neck and draw the shoulders back. The spine, the blocks, bring them alongside the feet. We're going to step back with the left foot. And when you really step back with the left foot, just step over the blanket if that's there. Press through the right foot, fly the arms up overhead. You're coming into your crescent lunge. You're trying to build the head over the shoulders over the hips. And as you exhale, bring your hands to prayer position down to your heart center and bend your back knee. have a pretty significant bend in the back knee, long enough so that you can feel that stretch in that iliopsoas muscle, the one that ties in with our fight, flight, freeze response. And checking in to see if there's an emotional bundle wrapped up here. It feels really tight and tense. There most likely is. It also can get too tight if we're too sedentary, which I don't think is the case for any of us in this room. Inhale, power back through that left thigh, lift the arms up overhead. Now be cautious here. We're gonna twist to the right. And the palms are gonna face down. The right arm's gonna reach to the back wall. The left arm's reaching towards the front wall. You've got it. Good, inhale, lift both arms up to frame the face again. And as you exhale, bring your hands to prayer. Lean out over the front thigh. Feel the strength building in your front hamstrings. And then lower the hands down. Drop the back knee to the floor and untuck the back toes. Now, you probably want a blanket under your knee, unless you have a thick mat and it's fine, okay? So just be aware of this. Push down through your right foot so that you feel yourself drawing up through the pelvic floor. Lift the arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana, but we're gonna lace the fingers together. We're gonna bring them just underneath the base of the skull. Okay, inhale, lift your chest up without the back bend. Exhale, we're gonna twist towards the windows to the right. Good, inhale, bring yourself to center. Exhale, ground your front foot, back shin, twist a little to the left. Good, inhale, turn back to face the front. Puff up your chest, lean your head back into your hands. Breathe here. Exhale, bring the hands down, sink the hips down, lower the blocks away from the mat so your hands can come to the sticky mat, curl the toes under, lift the back knee, and step into plank. From your plank, rock forward, lower down, 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 until you're in more of a prone position. Keep your hands solidified underneath your chest and shoulders, but spill down to the face. Lift and lengthen each leg. Push down through the tops of the feet. Loop the shoulders back away from your face. Squeeze the elbows in towards your sides. And just pick up your head, shoulders, and a portion of your chest. Because now we're going to lift the hands. And breathe. Make sure your glutes are nice and firm. That usually comes in automatically if we're doing the legs and feet properly. Now lower your hands, lower to your brow. Reset the legs and feet. Loop the shoulders back again. Squeeze the elbows in, and this time lift your belly and chest into a higher form of cobra. If you can't quite do this, you can do Sphinx. But we're going to try to squeeze the elbows in to touch the skin as much as you can. It makes it harder, I know. Few breaths. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, push up through table. Exhale, rock it back into extended child's pose and melt into it. Meaning your elbows can block. Your head can take rest. You can close your eyes. Bring that mindful attention back to your breath. Breathe with depth and control. And feel the state of humility here. Feel as though you're bowing down before the higher power. And stating this mantra, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness into the light, from death to immortality, Shanti, Shanti. On your next inhalation, lift the elbows, slide your hands out, rock up to hands and knees, curl the toes, launch into downward facing dog. Now from your downward facing dog, be here and pay attention to your hands. With your fingers nice and broad, where is the weight landing? Try to avoid all the weight bearing the wrist by pushing into the upper mound of your hands and into the base knuckles. Push up and down of your wrists, up and down of your elbows, up and down of your shoulders, up and down of your ribs. And let your neck be neutral. On your next inhale, we need to get the left foot to the top of the mat. If you need to drop to hands and knees and swing that left foot around, you can, or you may be able to step the left foot all the way forward, but we'll bring the blocks back in since we use them on the other side. That will help to build you up, so you're not just dumping over that front knee. We'll stay on the ball of the back foot, and we'll slowly come up to crescent. Arms lifting, palms face each other in the beginning. And then exhale, bring hands to prayer, put a generous bend in the back knee. Testing the difference between the two sides. Now inhale, relift the right thigh, relift the fingertips to the sky. Exhale, take your time, twist to your left. Left arm reaching to the back wall, right arm reaching towards the front wall, palms face down, gaze at something specific. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands to heart, lean forward. Pause a moment, feel the strength building in the front hamstrings. Bring the hands to the blocks, lower the back knee, untuck the back foot. Find the padding if needed. Push into the left foot so you're drawing up to the pelvic floor, arms overhead. And this is where we're going to lace the fingers together, cup up underneath the base of the skull, keep the spine straighter, and then exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, turn and face the front, and now do the open twist to the right. Good, turn back to face the front, puff up your chest, lean your head back into the safety net of your hands. Good, lean forward, release your hands, use the blocks. Curl the back toes, pick up that back knee. We're going to step the back foot forward to close out that sun sow. Turn the blocks onto their second height and release the hands next. And just come into Uttanasana. You're standing forward fold. Emphasizing your exhalations. And press through the soles of the feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. And then as you exhale, open your arms to the wing position. 2 more, inhale, straighten out, look straight ahead, and then exhale, look up as you bow back. 1 more, inhale. Good, and exhale. Inhale the arms up.
Exhale, fold forward. Now bend your knees and elevate your heels. Little snap, crackle pop pose, toe balance. Is it just me today? No, you did too. So feel free to use your blocks for balance. Feel free to come down to the floor if this is too much for your knees. Otherwise, see if you can hold your toe balance. Maybe bring hands to prayer. And then with your hands on the blocks, you're gonna lean into your wrist. You're gonna scrunch into your belly. See if you can take the feet up, straighten the legs out, and just drop on down. You don't have to hold the arm balance. Good. Once you're here, bend your right knee. Turn open from the hip. Good, arms lengthen. Exhale, keep the right arm up, just turn to the right and lower the left hand to the bent knee. You got it. Keep the left toes lifting up towards the ceiling, stay in the twist, but now you're gonna take a side bend in the mix. This is called Parita Janushasana. You got it right, Kelly. Yeah, you got it. Just lean towards me now. That's it. Inhale, bring the arm up. Exhale, lower the hand down behind your back. Turn open through the shoulders a little bit more. Maybe turn your head. Just don't overly work your neck. Make sure the breath is still channeling rather easily. Good. Exhale, unwind. As you unwind, you're gonna pick up your right foot. Once you pick it up, you can take a hold of it with your left hand, and you can hold the knee with your right hand. And if it's available, you can also cradle the arms around. So just see what's better. As long as you can keep your spine fairly straight and you're squeezing and hugging it in towards your heart. Holding that lift and squeeze. And then rocking the babies. And then we'll do that sequence to the other side. So straighten out your right leg. Bend your left knee. Turn open from the hip. It's like we're going into Janushasana, but we're doing the other variation today. Lift the arms overhead. The left arm's gonna stay up and the right hand's gonna come down as you twist to the opposite side of the room. And then start to lean over the straight leg. Inhale, build up. Exhale, hand lowers to the ground behind you. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness into the light, from death to immortality. Shanti, Shanti. Line from the twist. Catch your left foot with your left hand, pick it up, and then transfer it to the right hand. So you can have the left hand holding the knee, right hand holding the foot, or you can create that cradle hold, but lift to the top of the head and exhale, squeeze it towards your heart. Keep lifting and squeezing, lifting and squeezing, lifting and squeezing, and then rock the baby side to side. I want you to have a block. Actually, let's do this. Take both of your blocks in front of you. Do this one instead. I like the legs to be elevated. So let's create Stonehenge. So that as we flip to the back, the legs can stack on top. Then determine when you take residence here. Check in with your arms. Do your hands want to be on the body? Or do your hands prefer to fan out? Check in to see if you need any additional support. You can always add or delete props. And this is going to give our body an opportunity to calm and cool down from the practice, but also to integrate the benefits and to aid our circulation. And your next in-breath, I want you to visualize there's a light shining down from above, penetrating and entering your third eye. Let it move to the center of your head where the pineal gland exists. And once it connects to the pineal gland, imagine it brightening and lightening mind, your crown. Let the light shoot down your spine like a column of light. Imagine that light is rushing down like a water. And then begin to allow it to spread across your back, across your front body, down your arms, hands, fingertips. Bring that light even further down into your hips. It shine onward through your legs into your feet. So it's lighting up the entire body. And then lift your drishti to come back to that place of entrance at your mind's eye. Remembering, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be filled with light. Let there be light. mindfulness bells. Before you move your hands or feet, just roll your head gently to the left shoulder first, to the right shoulder next. You do that twice. And then you bring the chin back in line with your chest. Inhale, stretch the arms towards the back wall. Exhale, pick up your feet and hug your knees. Sway gently on your back. And turn to one side. Join me in a comfortable seat. Whichever pose you wish. Join your hands. I was telling the group last night, I have many different variations of the Om Asatoma, Sadama, the Sanskrit mantra. But there was an English version I used to have that was very fun and uplifting sounding. I'm going to sing that for you now. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness into light, from death to immortality, Shanti, Shanti. All be led to the light over and over again, because we are light bodies. Let's walk away from this practice, being that pillar of light for ourselves and others. And let's continue to be an instrument of peace for ourselves. The light in me honors and bows respectfully to the light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks for showing up today. Just to let you know, I think it's Jen. I think Jen is doing the Christmas Eve practice.
She does.
In the morning. Okay, good, you confirmed it. Yeah. And I'm just assuming it's closed on Christmas Day. I don't think anybody would show up if it were open. And then, New Year's Day is also gonna be a Monday, and that's the day I'll always do special workshops. So there will be one from 9 to 10:30 that will be a forecast and flow. It will be the astrology and numerology for 2024, and then we'll express that through the movement. And then the one following that, which is the one you may prefer, is 11 to 12:30, and that's going to be Ring in the New Year. That will be gentle restorative yoga, sound bath. So no forecast with that one. But if you come to that one and you're like, you still want to know, I'll share. I'll share off to the side.
I think she said that the studios also closed on Tuesday, so Monday.
Oh, so the 26th is closed too. Good to know.
And I know Mandy's not teaching, but I'm